So let's take some questions. I like questions. What do you guys got? So, hey everybody, it's Dave. I'm back in the Maker Zone, and I'm here today and honored to be together with Louis-Antoine. We met just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was part of the Kickstart Accelerator program in Zurich, and I wanted to vet his business model. So we're just kind of like, I'm letting you in on the real deal of what we do every day here, and I want to get to know your business better. I was really inspired by it when you presented. So tell me why did you actually, we were just talking like more privately, like why did you choose to go back from Canada to Rwanda?
Yeah.
It's not something that people usually do, right?
No, actually it started as a personal problem. I was looking for a way to send money back to my cousins in Rwanda so they can go to school. And I couldn't find a way that was cheaper, but also that will guarantee that my money goes really toward the payment of the tuition fees. So maybe if I go back to my personal story, I left Rwanda, I was 12 years old. That was in 94 when the genocide started.
Yeah.
And then I was lucky enough to just experience 2 weeks of that because my mom works for UNICEF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got out.
But still, it got me 10 years to digest that, what I've seen in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we went to Canada. Then I did my high school, college, and university there. And then at the end of university, I ended up in Montreal Police Intelligence Department.
In Montreal.
Yeah. So pretty interesting job.
Are they pretty high tech, or like how did you get towards tech with that?
It's pretty high tech. It's intelligence. My job was to analyze information, sensitive information. So we play with a lot of database and also a lot of deduction. You get a lot of database and then you deduct this person is the right or the wrong.
Preventive rather than
Exactly.
reactive.
Yeah, I was mostly in supporting and prevention. So like people on the field, when they needed some sensitive in a quick manner way on someone, then I was one day call, say, okay, run background check on this guy worldwide. I worked with FBI's.
That's so funny because it's very close to banking, what we call KYC, knowing your client, right? So you're doing KYC for police or federal.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it was very interesting, pretty intense though.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then of course, when I started to make good money because it was a good job.
Yep.
In African culture, we have this thing of helping each other. So once you have more money, then you help the people behind you. And that's why the remittance or the money sent to Africa keep growing. We are talking about 60 billion. And apparently we will be approaching 100 in 2020.
So 100 billion flows back from other places to Africa every year.
Exactly. It's a lot of money.
And in how big are the tranches, the pieces that go back?
The World
$10,
Bank,
$1,000, $10,000. What goes back?
They say $100 a month minimum. From that's the lowest people they send there, but usually they send about $1,000 to $2,000 a year.
So this is what I don't get. It's the same space as TransferWise for me.
Yeah.
Why not TransferWise? And also, in the same answer, can you tell me about M-Pesa? Because as soon as somebody hears Africa, the only thing they say for a startup is M-Pesa. Like, what's the differences?
Okay, first of all, there's a lot of way of transferring money to Africa. The traditional ones are like Western Unions, which we call them remittance 1.0, because just you take money, you pay 12%, which is a lot, then they send money to your relatives, and your relatives also has to take a tax from the village and line up. So it's very complicated. And most of the time, thanks in Rwanda, it's safe, but in some country, people get attacked by thieves because they know when you go to Western Union, you're not going there to buy potato.
So literally, if you physically go there, you're going to get robbed, or you may
in
get
some
robbed.
country. Yeah, you may. And so the 2.0, that's now the new world remit TransferWise, where, for example, you take money from a credit card and then you send money to M-Pesa, for example. But again, now the difference is M-Pesa, try to ask how much money they're charging to people. 10%.
10%?
To get access to their
payday
service.
loan.
It's a lot.
That's ridiculous.
So I paid 12%, let's say, or didn't even say 5% to World Remit to send money to Rwanda. But now
What's
my
World Remit? Is that a...
World Remit is a mobile app onto which you can worldwide send money electronically. Okay. And then you can also receive the money electronically, like on those mobile phones or mobile wallets. And then, so I paid 5%, for example. Then someone in Kenya or in Rwanda can receive the money on the mobile app in M-Pesa system, which is a mobile wallet. It's just based on what they call USSD technology. It's a Nokia technology where directly your phone communicates directly to the server.
So it's 2G or 3G. So it's
exactly
smartphone.
Primitive little bit.
Right.
So he pays 10%. because the financial literacy is so low, people don't really realize they're paying too much. I paid 5, you paid 10. And oh, by the way, you have to convert that in local currencies, and then they never offer the best rate in conversion, so it's pretty expensive. But again, now what's different between the World Remit, the Western Union, and new way of sending money to Africa like ours, which we call cash to good system. For example, you put $20 and then at the exit become a service or product. Is the previous ones can't guarantee what I'm going to do with the money. And what started as a personal issue where I was sending money to my cousin to go to school, and then every time they come back to me 3 months later to tell me they haven't
But that's
paid.
what you were doing. You were sending money to your cousin.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and I tried all those things. I tried World Remit, I tried TransferWise, I tried Western Union. In the end, it was not only expensive, but also time consuming. But most, if I can say worse, they will always misuse the money. I'll send them $1,000,
Yeah.
and then it's a lot of money for them. And instead of paying right away the school, they'll pay themselves a phone. And then they come back to me, and then I'm like, oh, I have to find a way directly I can pay the tuition fees, I can pay the essential services. And that's where the idea came. I'm like, wow, what if I make an online platform on which, since African merchants are not heavily investing in going online, then I can enable them to come online free of charge. They don't pay anything. We provide them a backend system to which just it's like opening a web page. And then they can list their services on our platform. Those who have already some automated process, like telecoms or let's say
Anyone with
utilities
infrastructure to process
yeah,
payments
exactly.
on their end, basically.
We can then connect them to our servers, and instantly someone can pay their services from Zurich. You can pay electricity, you can pay water, you can pay tuition fees.
So let me get this right. You're actually going into the verticals where you want to pay
Yeah,
and not letting the money get stolen or
exactly.
abused.
Abused, stolen, and it's cheaper because there's
Right.
no branch, there's no conversion rates too much.
But it's funny, I work for a wealth manager, right,
Yeah.
globally. And this is what we do, basically. I mean, you know, like people set up trust funds for kids and they say this can only be used for education
Exactly.
or whatever.
Exactly.
So that you're kind of doing that on a very scalable way.
Exactly.
Wow.
Scalable way, because the way we are making our platforms, it could be used in any country with such issue or remittance, when remittance money is not well used. And actually we've got some call as far as from Haiti, as far as from Philippines. But again, as a startup, we have to go.
So where are you focused now? Rwanda?
Now we started in Rwanda,
Yep.
but definitely thanks to this Kickstarter program, we've met with some EY, Ernest Young people, Deloitte, and other companies who advise us how can you set a holding, so we can now start looking to other countries, and we are already looking to North Africa, and because we want to go in high corridors of remittances. Rwanda is a small country, everything works well, but still there's not a lot of money coming in. If, for example, you take Nigeria, Nigerians sent back, just for Nigeria, 20 billion last year. So if
That's
you
the growth engine, Nigeria.
exactly, so we have to go there. We have
Yeah.
to go also to countries like Tunisia, Morocco, receiving a lot of money from Europe, but we're mainly focusing on Africa, and then we are working also on a franchise model where if someone wants to use our business model, then from Philippines, then we get some royalty fees, and then he can go with the whole system there.
So I'm trying to think, I want to ask you about traction, but I'm trying to
Yeah.
think like, so from a wealth manager's perspective, because
Yeah.
you're still here in Switzerland for the next few weeks, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, what's the value prop towards them? Is there any? Because usually, you know, like with peer-to-peer investing,
Yeah.
you can take basically rich people with lots of money,
Yeah.
and you can seed out loans to, you know, smaller people who need
Yeah.
money, and both sides can make
You go
make
to your
a win.
text.
So how does it work with
Actually,
your
you said
model?
what's the value proposition we have here. What started as a personal problem and then became a community problem, and then actually now is becoming an NGO solution, because we've been approached by World Food Program.
Yep.
They see our business model as one of the best way to disperse money, for example, to refugee directly, because, for example, they will send $10 million to a refugee camp in Rwanda, and then half of it would disappear in administrations, and then another third disappear in conversion rate, and in the end, maybe 30% only reach refugees. And because also refugees lives under heavy pressure of environment, they tend to seek for quick solutions of forgetting about their problem, which is alcohol and misuse of money. So they want to see how can we pay some basic services to them right away. And so we become for wealth management funds who, for example, wants to enable some microloans or micro financial services to the poorest of the as the best tool to control how and decide where exactly the
Have
money.
you pitched any funds yet?
We
It sounds like that's more like a product on the shelf. So you say this is a fund which partially or wholly does good, right?
Yeah.
And then you want to be part of that fund.
Yeah.
But what would the extra funds that are generated there be used for? Would they
I didn't get the question exactly.
like so? Let's say you have a financial product.
Yeah.
From an asset manager.
Yeah.
And it's whatever mutual fund.
Yeah.
And then it gathers public investment, and that's invested in people locally, or I don't really get the connection between
the connection
a
actually.
financial product and
For example, maybe I have to explain it. How it's designed. We have 3 platforms surfing on one backend system. The first platforms are mobile app, the Android. Soon we have an iOS coming in, and then we have a website, and then we have a prepaid programmable card. So all the 3 are linked to this backend system. So for the financial product, it will be this prepaid card, which could be also a lending point for microfinance. And how, for example, we serve for such funds. Let's say you set up a fund, we say, okay, we want to set up a microfinance scheme for the poorest in Africa, and you still need a lending point of the money. And this M-Pesa or mobile money are so expensive, it's not really the best way to do that. And also, if you want to set some installment payment, you cannot do that with the M-Pesa. It will be very complicated. But with this card, for example, if you say, okay, you've won a grant of 30,000 through this fund, of course you have to pay 1% of interest every year. But in order also to disperse your money, we're going to give you 3 installments based on milestones. So the card will enable the village, the winner of the grant in Africa, to quickly access to the money, because what you have to do on our system is simply go on our mobile app website where you have open your fund page, and then you enable, because I have put my profile, you enable installment payment for the milestone I've achieved, and quickly the money is on the card. And also when he wants to pay back, simply he take the local systems, either it's mobile money or either he goes to the bank, he make a payment, and the reverse mode also is done to your fund. So it's really pipeline, nothing else, that can also have added value or added features.
But are you looking to partner with
Yeah.
financial institutions?
Yeah, microfinance is definitely.
So it's microfinance is your
Or
spot.
wealth management funds that are looking to have sort of impact investment, because
Have you got any traction with people, with companies, with brands?
I say there's a World Food Program. There's another fund called Le Lab. I think it's a French one. We are talking also with Blue Orchard, something like that.
That's big,
There is a couple of impact investors that are looking to us.
Okay.
Here in Switzerland, I've been meeting people and actually even have other meetings with impact investors who really wants to see how can we make it happen, because they see it as a tool that can enable individuals. Yourself, you have, let's say, 50,000 that you really want to help people in Africa. You'll be able to set up your own page on our platform and then call. We have 10 people in the village.
For the individual investor, is that going to be, have you got the tax deduction part worked out?
We
with
are
your
working out of
consulting
that,
firms?
but we haven't finalized the document. But there's such advantage, for example, on both ends actually. For example, I was talking with a Swiss insurance company that I'm not allowed to say the name because I haven't signed everything. That's why I have to be very careful. But one of the things they see is, for example, they see a way of added value in terms of, if I pay for example, life insurance to my cousin in Rwanda, what we realize, the Rwandan government is willing to waive out all the tax part of this transaction, because it's really going to improve. It's a not high-end product, but it's a good life insurance product scheme. But that part of tax will go now in savings for this
This
little
is
guy.
super technical to operate.
Yeah.
You don't have a lawyer on board yet, do you? You didn't study law. You do.
We have a lawyer.
Does he work
based
pro
in
bono, or
Luxembourg.
does he charge you the rates? That
No,
you're
he's an African guy raised in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
He's doing well, and amazingly, for now, it's pro bono.
So he's helping you. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, one day he won't request 10%.
But I think you need tax on both sides of it. So
Yeah.
if you want to do microfinance
Yeah.
from an impact fund,
Yeah.
then individual investors in that are going to need deductions.
Exactly.
So it competes with everything else in the impact fund.
Exactly.
And then, like what you said is on the other end, on the front end,
Yeah.
you want it tax deductible as well, or
Exactly.
tax free.
Exactly.
It's pretty awesome though as a business model.
Yeah, it's pretty complex. People, when look at it, they think it's just a stupid thing, but definitely when you look at deeper, is not fun. There's some reason to keep me awake during the nights.
So traction wise,
Traction
you said
wise,
once to meet 25,000 customers, target 100,000.
yeah, I want such curve
By when?
before mid of next year.
And you said you were like during the Kickstart Accelerator, you were working on the model to do that. What
Yeah.
is the key of that
Yeah,
to do that?
it's a marketing strategy. Up to now, we haven't marketed ourselves at all. We have 10,000 and followers and more on our social medias, but friends told friends, and then they tried the system, and we realized that definitely, because some people sometimes when they write to me like, why don't you come to our country and advertise this service, because we need it, like Rwandans really. And then we realized we have to have a referral marketing strategy based on what we have already, the user pool we have already. How can we incite them to now really tell more friends of theirs that really?
So what was the word of mouth rate in the 25,000? Was it 1-to-1 or was it 2-to-1?
One.
Do you know?
One. It was mostly 1-to-1. It was really very.
So it went one and it stopped. Basically.
Exactly. And in some cases, people push a little bit further, but most of the time, is friends will tell me, hey, I'm using this, and stop there, because there is no incentive to keep pushing there. But now the marketing strategy we developed with people from Kickstarter is to refer me to MERGIMS, and if I use it, you get certain percentage of my transaction. And if I refer to someone else, and not only I will get a reward, but also you get certain percentage.
So you're going to go for a reward strategy.
Strategy, exactly. And we believe, when you look at an advertisement on TV, and if we are friends, and I came and tell you this works, you definitely trust me rather than the TV.
What's your acquisition cost? If I'm allowed
It's
to
a
ask.
lot. It's $80 for now. 80.
80?
Yeah, it is a lot.
Well, for a
startup.
banker, that's free, so... like, $80 is
but
too
for a
much
startup,
you to
it's too
sustain.
much. We have to bring it back low. And again, that's the traction we believe with this 100,000 users, then we are on the good track. Everything will go back to acceptable level of profitability. But again, it's a startup that's been around for just a year and a half.
Yep.
And
And you're seeking funding, if I remember.
yeah, we are looking for $500,000
Yep.
as our seed round, and that will help us to run for 12 months,
Yep.
and then get such traction, and then come back for another. We will definitely need like 3 rounds of funding.
Anything from the government? Locally?
States or Rwandan government.
London.
The Rwandan government have been very supportive, because remittance actually has become the first source of investment for Africa. If you take, let's say, the fund from Swiss government, and you combine with, let's say, Swiss company, the money they are sending to Africa, it's less than remittance. So remittance is really not the first. And governments in Africa are looking to see how can we incite Africans who lives outside, or Rwandans who lives outside, to invest more in Africa. So I'm one of the best pipeline, and one the great asset we have is not only people now have more choice or more reasons to help to send money to Rwanda, but we add value on people. If you can offer now life insurance, it has a great impact, direct impact to someone in Africa, and governments want people to see healthy, well educated. If you can pay right away the education, definitely this kid will go to school, then he becomes someone good and someone who can serve the society. So they are extremely supportive.
One thing I'm going to do is hook you up with our impact guys who run that, because you need to speak with them. What else should we? What do you think, Georgie?
I would like to see how it works. Can we?
Sure.
You want to see it? Live demo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll put some footage into MakerZone
how
so
is it the
people can see it.
Sure. Now
The name doesn't stick on my tongue, to be honest.
I
with you.
know.
You might, but Impeza doesn't either, so maybe. It's
So
just
we
a
will
question.
have to find a way of We have to change the logo. We have to change many things. Then put more lights, maybe.
Oh, you said about cheaper IT services. He's got a bunch of contacts out east of here.
Are they
which-
cheap?
You see this logo right here?
Let me
$5.
just put.
$5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's acceptable.
What did you pay for your one?
I mean, the design
here.
can be very cheap, but good quality development, it's hard to find for cheap. Especially for a solution like this one, you
Yeah.
don't want.
So the
$20.
logo, that is really
Yeah, it
basic.
needs help.
Phil, do you wanna maybe come here?
Or you can footage it later. See.
So, yeah,
Sure.
it's available. This is Android version.
Yep.
So then you go on it. Let's say you want to pay for airtime. So you put your friend's number in Rwanda. So 78467.
No integration to Facebook yet?
Not yet. We are working
Sorry,
on that.
I missed something. You're paying what?
Telecommunication bill, because everything is prepaid in Africa.
Okay.
You can have postpaid, but that's the one rich percent, 1% that can
Okay.
afford that. The other people just do
So
like
you can pay his
Mobile
prepaid,
phone.
the power,
And
the
here.
school.
His
These
house,
are
his
coming,
grocery bill. Yep.
but the grocery, the medicine tickets also should be live in December. So that's free,
Okay.
but those three already are already running.
Okay, cool.
So, for example, for the school, which is very complex, and I love it because we have now five major universities. There's a major private university in Rwanda who agreed to come on board. And my cousin used to say, for example, he go to University of Kigali, and he would tell me he went to information, technology, and then he would tell me whatever he wants. He say like it costs $2,000. To me, it made sense because in Canada, schools is expensive. So if someone is paying $2,000, I say okay, maybe it's possible. But with our system, it will tell you exactly what amount. Let's say he goes to school.
Because it's validated by the university, so it turns out
Yeah,
to be $200, not $2,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
So full year, it's 648 with the current today conversion 000 cents. Of course, we will do 649.
And the money goes to school, to the school.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's live connected to their database. So of course, today we use PayPal.
It's actually very, very good.
Yeah.
It's very
Yeah,
good.
and if you change the faculty, also the amount should change because, and you still go today, and then.
But do you have a local guy on the ground besides
612.
yourself?
Yeah, we have 4 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you need to work all these relationships, right? In every vertical.
Yeah.
Food, transport, education.
Yes, what we've done, because realize if we want to have all the institutions providers on our system, by me going to see them, it's going to be very difficult to scale. So the way we unload merchant on board is simply a link we send to them. It's a simple link. Then they go to our portal where they register. They submit all the documents for the due diligence and take 48 hours. Once it's done, their banking account select a collection point. It's automatically set. It's in a bank called Equity Bank. Then we give them every detail. We send them every details. If they don't have access, let's say, to email, we call them. So, but in Rwanda, for example, everything works well. All university and colleges, it's mandatory to have internet. And then hopefully in 2020, also just high schools, public high schools will have also internet so they can.
Let me tell you, I love the business model and I love the spirit of what you're doing. And I really like the team. So, I mean, I want to keep monitoring it and see what your traction is looking like. You know, people are going to ask themselves, why would somebody look at this from a wealth manager? Because doing good is core to our value prop. And doing good makes money, people. So, you know, when you do good, virtuous things, you give to get. I've said that before in episodes. And I think that what you're doing is a step beyond what I've seen in other mobile apps and just doing TransferWise without purpose. I think you're hitting a sweet spot. So I want to see it grow and I want to help you grow.
Thank you.
All right. So thanks for coming by.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And you will see me often. I'll be back next year at least twice or.
To Switzerland?
Yeah, in Switzerland. This year this is my 3rd time in Switzerland this year.
Yeah. It's
So-
about to get cold.
It's okay. Canada is worse.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
Canada
That's
is
true.
like
You're used to
Russia, so that's not what they call. But what I loved about Swedes is like this practical side, and also the fact there is a genuine willingness of investing in impact startups. People have startups that have really a great impact in emerging countries, and I've been to Canada where it was like this. But here you can see people are calling me. People are calling like we've
They're
seen.
interested.
Yeah, I can show some emails where people say, "Hey, we've seen you on one Swiss television. I forgot what is S something.
SRF.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can we meet? I have a meeting on Monday with someone also who works in impact investment. He saw me just on TV and he believed we were working on something really interesting.
So how do people contact you, and what's your final call to action?
Oh,
Should they get in
yeah.
touch with you?
Well, they can Google us, and all my
So it's
details are there.
MERGIMS.com.
MERGIMS.com, and then it starts from there. Because my name is very complicated. Muhire Louis-Antoine. If also they Google me, I'm pretty popular on Google. So I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn.
All right, we'll put up your Twitter handle and logo
Exactly. So
and your LinkedIn.
I know your logo. We have to work on it, but
Awesome.
we got the contact now.
Yep.
Great.
All right.
So, all right.
Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, bro.
And I'll be back.
All right.
I'll definitely be back.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. That's real vetting. I had never seen it start up before. That's actually how we do stuff. So let's take some questions. I like questions. What do you guys got?